This week in Nerf, it's all about third-party upgrade parts and a monster mod of the week. I'm Jangular, and this is your source for first-party, third-party, and community Nerf news. First up, we have Jet Blasters, and they announced this week on Facebook that they are going to release the Omega kit, which is another line in their Exus kind of ecosystem, along with the Alpha and Omni and all those things. But this is the higher end. This is the kit that's going to be able to take a heavier spring load than the Alpha and the original set that people have been using. This is going to be a metal kit with a full seal, and that's a big step up, and it's an awesome thing. Now, a lot of this is going to be metal machined, and I think that's awesome. The plunger rod is going to be a combination of carbon fiber and metal, which is great because it keeps it light, but also gives it that structural integrity and strength that is necessary for heavier spring loads and things along those lines. Now, I did reach out to Jet and got in contact with them. I'm hoping to hear back with some more details about this kit, maybe when it's coming out, what the price point's gonna be, or some more details on some of the production process of it. Hopefully I'll have some more news for you next week or the week after about that, and I'll be able to share that with you. But it is something cool, something I think is awesome, that they are trying to further expand their ecosystem of products to not only give people something that hits around, I think it's 150 FPS is the Alpha kit, and this should be able to handle much heavier spring loads, which will be able to put you over into that kind of NIC realm of FPS, or at least closer to it. So I think it's cool. I'm definitely looking forward to it, and I like what Jet Blasters is doing with their ecosystem. I know that the company, there are people that have qualms with the company, and they have a hard time hitting their release dates or pre-order for their pre-orders at times, which is something I certainly would hope they will continue to improve on. I'm sure it's something they're working on, but regardless of that, I do like the things they're trying to do. So I'm hoping they will continue to improve both their designs and their delivery. But until then, until I have more news, I just wanted to share this with all of you because I think it is pretty cool, and I love diversity in the market. So let me know what you think down below, of course. Next up, we have another third-party product, and this is the Caliburn. Now, you may notice the Fabuburns right there. That was a lot of fun to put together, but mine came before production number 100. And like the rest of us that have those before production number 100, there are some changes that are happening from 100 forward. And Captain Slug posted about this. He has updated the magwell to work with the Jet Katana mags and the Artifact P mags, both of which could have issues in the magwell because of some tolerances in the way it was printed. So he's gone ahead and updated that to go ahead and allow those to work, along with a good number of other updates. He's changing plunger components, but you can use either O-rings or skirt seals. The new ram design that he's going with is leak-free, and he has made some minor quality of life changes to make printing and constructing easier. Things like no glue is no longer required for assembly, which is great. It's just those little things that will help kind of make this more accessible and easier, and less, I don't know the right way to put it, but just quality of life changes. Like I said, I think it's a great little thing that he keeps iterating and improving on these things. Good news is for those of you with 3D printers that have one of these that is before this updated production run, is that you can print these parts out and you can replace your parts. Captain Slug may be offering the updated magwell. I'm not certain yet. Once I know for sure, I will update the info down below. But I think that's great as well if he does. And it is kind of cool to see this blaster continue to evolve and change. Like, my version has the aluminum plunger tube. That's going to be changed out for a clear option. And it's cool to continue to see the evolution of these homemade third-party products that really, really get loved by the community, and to continue to see them get to support that people are looking for, to continue to make them relevant and awesome blasters. So I think it's cool. I hope he continues to iterate and improve this blaster, especially since it's something you can break down into parts and replace a part. I'm gonna have to replace the mag release because it broke when I was constructing it, but I mean, it's held together so far with glue, but I still want to replace it, and that's something I can pull apart and pop back in. So I think it's cool. I like it. and I hope it's going to be well received by the rest of the community, because he is doing this to better his product. But it's enough about that. Next up, we have an item called the Appo G6 or Appo G6 blaster clip, and it's on Kickstarter. There's a few days left. Unfortunately, it looks like it's not going to hit its goals, but it is something I felt was worth sharing because it is interesting. You can see by the design posted up here that it is a speaker that goes onto one of the N-Strike attachment points. As I say, I don't have any on screen that you can easily see it a reference to, but it goes on the common, actually right at the top of the screen. It goes onto any of those attachment points, and basically it has, I believe, an IR laser that when you shoot a dart through and it breaks, it makes a sound, which is neat. It's nice. I think it's kind of entertaining and cool. It's something that kids will enjoy. So the functionality, I think, is neat. I think it's interesting. It adds an audio cue to things and another immersion level or fun level for kids. So I think that's kind of cool. My problem with it, and the reason I think it may not be having the success that they were hoping for in terms of the Kickstarter, is the design. I don't like the form. I like the function. I don't like the form. I really wish the form was more in the shape of a barrel. If it was a barrel attachment that you put on and had a speaker attached to it, and you still, went through IR or whatever the method it is to create the sound or trigger the sound, I think that'd be really cool, because it'd be something you could make look nice rather than something that doesn't look like it belongs on a blaster. I think that's the biggest problem for me with it. Despite all the cool function in it, the form just isn't there, and that's something I hope that will be addressed, and maybe they'll come back with an updated design, another Kickstarter, and hopefully it will do better. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? What do you think about these kind of products that add something like that are more directed towards kids generally? I am curious to hear, as with everything else. But last up today, we have both Blastertech and Kelly Industries announcing and releasing their 8-shot Hammershot cylinders. Now, this is something cool that I was surprised when Blastertech announced it, and then I saw that Kelly Industries did the same thing, and I was like, that's really cool that right at the same time they both were able to have their designs out. And I like competing markets. I like when there's competition. It's a great thing for the consumer, as I've talked about before. Now, these are really cool. I didn't think we'd ever get 8 shots that would work consistently with a blaster, with these Hammershot and Sweet Revenges. It is important to note, both these designs do work with the Hammershot or the Sweet Revenge, offered in variable colors on both sites. Now, for the Blastertech version, I talked with Dean over at Blastertech, and he said that they do print at a very fine detail to be able to get the walls thin enough for this, and that makes it a long print, and it also makes it somewhat not as sturdy as other forms where they have less darts, because the walls are so thin. So if someone's really rough, like they're throwing their blaster on the ground and stuff like that, when they're swapping between blasters, it may not survive as well as some other ones. But if you're using things normally, it should be fine. Just for those that are very rough with their blasters, just a fair warning, a heads up, something to be aware of. But I really like these designs. I think it's cool. I'm glad that there's more options for them and more offerings out there. So be sure to check both of those out if you're looking for another extra shot or two in your Hammershot or Sweet Revenge sidearm, because, well, who doesn't like extra shots? I mean, come on. And no extra space seems good. And that's going to bring us to our mod of the week. And this is going to be not only the mod of the week, but the video of the week, because this blasters is ridiculous. This is the Tetsuo by Nerm over at N.o.B.A.C.o.N. He's been working on this for quite a while. It was a Merge Masters 2 entry, and I've been wanting to share this with you for quite a while because this thing is a monstrosity. Gonna go ahead and venture a guess that it's inspired by Akira, and it's this monstrous, living, almost breathing mutant blaster that's just so over the top. It's got an underbarreled Magnus on the top. It's got an air tank that shoots off either a shotgun blast or has other attachments, I'm sure, that can shoot other types of ammunition or foam, missiles or darts or whatever. But the really cool part of this is all the bodywork, all the intricate, crazy creepiness. But then on top, he has lights and sounds. The lights pulse like it's breathing in some points, and then they pulse like they're, flashing crazy in other parts, and oh, it's so cool. And the sound effects that go with it, that's why it's the video of the week on top of the model of the week, is you gotta check out the actual video of it doing its whole light show and sound effects and all of that stuff, because it's so cool. I really dig this, really glad to share it with all of you. So go check it out because it's absolutely awesome. That video is gonna be right over here, because that does bring us to the end of the episode. So let me know what you thought of everything, all these third-party products that are really interesting, whether you like them or not. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you're new to the channel and enjoyed this video, feel free to hit that subscribe button for more in the future. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I'm Jangular, and I'll see you next time.